it would go like this.
Oh, just
Yeah,
like there.
that's what I was thinking, and then you can kind of wrap it around.
Wrap around like that.
I would
essentially.
definitely use that every time.
I think the Velcro's in for ATF purposes. Oh man, the patents behind those. Everyone's trying to find their own way to make a charging handle not infringe on a patent, and it's actually very hard. There's only so many ways you can skin that cat.
Yep.
CJ's over here.
Right now.
It was fake news.
It was fake news.
It was fake news. I didn't say that.
Misquoted.
Welcome back. I missed the last podcast, so we had to sub in Sam, who didn't have his microphone in the microphone apparently the whole time.
He thought these were just props.
He thought these were props, but these are microphones.
These are real, so you can tell that they're real.
They're prop micro like holders, but then there's a real microphone in there. But Sam puts it on his shirt. He's like, "Is this a prop?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, it is." And so he puts a mic on his shirt and just goes the whole podcast.
So if you go back to the last podcast,
CJ's
you'll
like
see.
lifting his elbow up to get his mouth next to
Looking
the
at me
mic.
like I'm insane. like, dude, hold it close to your face, and he's just like, woo.
We're learning.
Yeah.
All right, so this week, guys, I've got a box full of underrated products that I think are underrated. You guys are going to let me know if you think they're underrated or not, but I'm going to pull them out. I want to see your takes. And to start, I'm going to reach into this box without looking, so I don't know what I'm pulling up first.
Careful, CJ.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to look because it's way
He's
lower
reaching.
than I thought.
Yeah. It's
First thing. Oh, you got a Kniffy?
I got
That's
one.
taped shut. This is a Midwest Industries folding brace.
I got my Mario knife.
Need your Mario knife?
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Midwest Industries first, the company?
I like Midwest. They make a whole bunch of stuff. They make
Good value.
Yeah,
Very good value stuff.
really good value stuff. I think they're. I mean, it's not. You know, I feel like cheap is kind of the wrong word. It's what you guys said. It's value oriented.
Oh, I was actually looking at these earlier today.
Yeah. So this
Oh, yeah.
is a
CJ's going quick draw
bufferless
style.
this is like a bufferless. What is it?
It's a bufferless stock.
Yeah, bufferless stock. Or is this a brace?
a brace.
Oh,
It's a
yeah,
brace.
sorry, brace. But
There's the
essentially, it's-
Velcro in the box to go with it.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you
there
didn't
is.
See that? Yeah. So you know it's a brace because it has Velcro. It has a Velcro strap.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct,
so
yeah.
kind of the one. So it's a folding brace system, is what it is. You do need a buffer tube to pick rail plug or adapter for a bufferless system.
Which they probably have those.
Oh yeah,
too, right?
Most common is probably the Strike Industries one. Very
Does
common.
Midwest make one? Do we know?
I believe so. Okay. I would think so.
I think they do, yeah.
They also have a the same pick adapter, 1913 adapter, that goes to a buffer tube. So you could screw a buffer tube in there and kind of get that like law folder
I see.
style,
Oh.
but it's not nearly as thick because there's no buffer system going through.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You're not a law folder guy, are you, CJ? You've got something else on your right.
I do like folders.
He's got the
have
Sylvan.
I have the Sylvan one, and the reason I have that is basically it was, in my mind, a bit of a better alternative to the law folder for a more affordable price.
Oh, the
I would
price.
say.
I mean, it's about $120 difference
Yeah,
or so.
yeah,
Really?
something like that.
That
Yeah,
much?
And I don't know if it's most of the law folders that I've seen or used is that when you tip them upside down, or not upside down, but when you tip them, you know, the kind of the stock side is facing downward. It'll just kind of droop down. The stock will eventually just kind of droop down.
Yeah.
With the law folder, it's much tighter fit, and you just kind of you fold it, and it's there, and it is not bad at all. And also that the Sylvan one that I have has ambiguity points as well, which I liked as well.
Is that one
because,
a Gen 3 or Gen 4?
Gen 5, I think, is what they're on now.
That's what
Mine
they're
is
on
Gen
now.
5.
I was asking what yours is.
That's what mine is. Yeah, the Gen 4, they keep making them a bit smaller, so the Gen 5 is very equivalent to the size of the
I
law
think
folder.
The Gen 3s were just like a giant block.
Yeah, it was kind of
They were
huge.
ugly.
So they've
I
machined
put
them
one
down
on
really
a gun
well.
and took it off within 24 hours.
the Velcro strap for that?
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how that works and looks.
I'm not.
But I'm a huge fan. But in terms of like folding adapters at all, I'm a huge fan of folders, I think, because the biggest problem with the AR in terms of if you want to get it more compact is that long buffer tube.
Yep.
And so there's lots of ways you can do that. I mean, the most kind of well-known example is the law folder for getting that buffer tube kind of out of the way for storage. But then there's bufferless systems that you can make
I have
too.
no idea how this would work.
I think you literally just wrap it.
Do we have
around your
instructions?
There's probably a QR code or something. I
Yeah.
think you probably just
Because maybe put it.
like, yeah, it looks like you do something like this.
Yeah,
and
no.
then you just wrap this around your arm.
So
know.
here, I think this is kind of the general premise.
This is an interesting one.
is It would go like this.
Oh, just
Yeah,
like there?
that's what I was thinking,
And
and
then
then you can kind of wrap it around.
wrap
your arm.
around like that.
I would
essentially.
definitely use
But
that every time.
I think the Velcro's in for ATF purposes. But so to run a bufferless system, there's
Mm-hmm.
not a ton of options out there, which kind of makes it difficult. 22 LLR is probably one of the best options.
I've
for,
actually been wanting to do something like that because that's really
actually,
easy.
This is on like probably my next build will
Mm.
be a 22 LR with a folding stock like this one.
Suppressor too.
Yep.
I would want to run this on maybe like my Mac 5
Yep.
Oh, sure.
or something,
Yep.
because you can get a little 1913 end plate for that, and then
They-
that will go really well on.
So they actually do make adapters to go natively to MP5s. They got a bunch of options out there.
What do you think-
AKs, stuff like that.
What do you think, before you keep going, Charlie, what do you think these screw holes are for?
Cheek weld,
I don't know. Is that, to like put a bigger one on there?
maybe. I'm just guessing.
Or maybe there's another adapter to
but you wouldn't-
improve the brace.
You definitely would not put it up against your chest. So
No,
you wouldn't need
no.
a cheek weld. I just
yeah.
noticed on the back it,
It
says
says
not a stock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
if
the
you
back of it.
write
That's
not a
awesome.
stock on it, that automatically makes it not
That's
a
what
stock.
it identifies as.
Right.
Yeah. This is totally not a
I mean,
stock.
it's definitely built nice. I mean,
It's like
heavy.
solid metal.
Yeah, it's heavy. This is like all one. I thought this
that's
was
probably
plastic.
actually the downside of it is it is kind of heavy.
Yeah.
Now it's weight where you want it in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you think about a stock and a buffer and a spring and a buffer tube and all that stuff
Oh,
that
yeah,
all of a
it's-
sudden you're getting rid of.
Yep.
That might throw off the balance of your
Yeah, I
gun
mean
a
you
little bit. So
literally
having
throw
one
a
of these,
weight in the back
yeah.
of your gun.
So then having this be sort of equivalent to that overall weight, depending on the stock that you have.
Yep.
That definitely is
You
useful.
shaking that up and down and watching the Velcro flap.
I just want to get this off.
Yeah, it's a
It,
little annoying.
just bothers me.
Yeah, but
I don't even know. You'd have to like wrap that around the. To,
and
like,
is this
have it on there.
is this a QD point right here? Is that how cool this is? Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
it
think
is.
I think it's ambi as well.
Oh heck yeah!
Yep. And then you got QD points in the
I
back
like that
as well.
too. You can put your sling here and here.
Yeah,
have a really
you
small
can never
sling
have too
loop.
many QD points. I mean, when you got to run 4 different slings, how are you going to connect them?
That's right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I like this because it's kind of multi-purpose. Anything where you can put a 1913 rail in the back, you could do an AK, you could do a MP5, you could do.
Honestly, ARs are probably those are so hard to do
I
without
was
a gun
hoping
on
I
it.
could, but
You don't have any leverage, so.
The Solvent's the same way. It's like I can't even do it without it actually put onto a gun. Law folder's kind of the same way.
But yeah, so essentially to get this onto, so there are a couple non-reciprocating bolts out there too. I know Law Tactical has one. We don't carry it because the reviews just haven't been that great on it from what I've seen. So from like a traditional like 5.56 standpoint, I probably would never go to a system like this on the AR platform.
Yeah.
For a traditional,
Unless it was
like,
22.
Think about how silent the buffer spring is going to be, though.
Oh, right?
You guys hate buffer spring sound so much. Just delete the buffer spring.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, it's way quieter.
Are there
Yeah,
some?
because it doesn't fire at all anymore.
Right. There are some MCX kits I know you can get if you want to do kind of like a clone of an MCX or whatever.
Yeah,
or
and just
MCX
like-
uppers, different things like that.
Ultimately, if you're getting like traditional rifle center fire on an AR-15 and you're going to a bufferless bolt, just have some patience. Be ready to troubleshoot some things you might need to. Hopefully, you're a lucky one that everything goes together and it works. But I know that they've been trying to like perfect those non-reciprocating bolts, and I haven't heard great things from any of them yet.
Yeah.
So, but a 22 LR, heck yes.
Yeah.
Heck yes.
Those have been around for a long time, especially the CMMG kits and stuff like that.
For this, I especially like it on the application outside of the AR-15 space.
Mm-hmm.
For me, personally. If I'm going to...
Because there are other guns other than that, guys.
I know.
Weird to
it's-
think about.
It's hard to believe.
Everything stemmed from the AR-15.
Right. It was when George Washington signed the Declaration of Independence, he had an AR-15.
Yeah,
in his right
I'm pretty sure Benjamin Franklin designed them.
Yep. In coordination with Eugene Stoner, who lived to be about 210 years old.
Well, that was the time travel side of things.
Right. Yep. It
Because
just happens.
Eugene had that. He had that access to that kind of power.
No, Franklin did.
Oh.
And he went forward in time.
Oh, I see. Yeah, even he.
he's
When
like,
that
"Hey,
lightning struck him or
hey,
whatever.
Our delegates can't know about these things. They're way too powerful for
So
our
wait,
day.
so are we doing smash?
So
smash or
underrated or overrated? Do you think that's an
Underrated or
overrated
overrated?
thing or
I think they're
underrated?
underrated in the AR market.
Yeah.
Now, again, 5.56 caliber, I wouldn't run one.
Mm-hmm.
But for the alternative calibers that you can get a good, reliable, non-reciprocating system, heck yes.
Yeah, I would say underrated. I've been wanting to build something
And
kind of
it's a
with
brace.
this. Yeah, it's a brace. I would say underrated if you're trying to get something for like max transportability. You know,
For your backpack gun?
yeah, for your backpack gun, for your truck gun, for
The
your
other
bag
thing,
gun,
too,
whatever.
is with a 22 LR, like the lack of a butt pad here.
Right.
I mean, might want to add one on at some point. But
Yeah,
it's
but
a
then
little-
you
a
cover
little
up
much.
that not a stock,
Yeah,
and then
true.
you might
I
get
gotta
in trouble.
keep that.
One thing, one thing we didn't talk about really quick, I actually want to bring up
Don't
is
add a butt pad to it. That was a joke.
Yeah, that was a joke.
You know, it looks like there's actually a slot for
Well,
installing a butt pad.
I'm sure that they make this into a stock very easily. By
Yeah, this might be the same like base for the stock version of this that we don't know about. One thing that we didn't talk about was putting this on a. I know you guys don't like these, but like a carbine kit for a handgun, so like a Glock or something like that. I know there's a lot that are like that. One of them is Recover Tactical. They have 1913 adapters on the back that you
Yeah,
can get, and then
great
put
option.
put it on a carbine kit for a Glock.
Great option. The one thing you have to be careful of with those is they aren't designed to work together.
Right.
You are putting something designed for like an AR-15 on something designed to.
I just realized there's an additional QD point.
Oh yeah,
There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 QD points on this.
yeah.
Maybe 6, depending on
Maybe
what this
6.
is.
Yeah, no, that's not a QD.
Doesn't look
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, it looks
too
a little
small.
small.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
But so if you put this on something that is like not designed like an AR-15, that where the controls are like the Recover Tactical kits, you might be blocking some controls. Just might be some that you want to be careful with. If you got a buddy with one, maybe test fit it first.
Sure.
Or I know like Strike Industries has a really small, lightweight plastic one. That would be perfect for those like handgun chassis to turn them into a carbine. So
For me, this is, I think, overrated on the AR-15, underrated on just about everything else. You could put it on a Chris Vector, you could put it on a Mac 5, you could put it on an AK. There's so many things you could put that on, but I don't think it's right for a 5.56 AR-15, and that might just be me. I've never actually tried a totally bufferless AR-15 system. So,
there's a reason you haven't.
yeah, the next one, and I would be curious to see what you guys think of this. CJ, we actually were just using something comparable to this last week. So these are the UTG AccuSync 45-degree offset front and rear sights. My first gripe with these is they are not together. They are not packaged together. You have to buy each one separately.
Magpul you have to as well.
Yeah, that is my main gripe. These should be one item.
I know, like, we'll make kits out of them. So you buy one, you get both, and you just know that they're made to work together. Oh, you got that open?
Yeah.
I don't know. Iron backups. Always good to have backups of some type, whether it's a optic or iron sights. I'm kind of in the camp of have at least one backup.
bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
They even have different bottoms.
I mean, UTG's been changing a lot lately, just trying to keep up with demand. They're one of the companies that doesn't really make the excuse of, well, we couldn't get the right box for it. So if we got to cut it and open box it, that's fine.
So these are also from UTG Europe. So these are not the UTG
okay.
Pro ones. These are just the regular UTG.
Yeah, and I don't know, UTG, like, what was it, 10, 15 years ago, like super common airsoft. I think they still are super common in airsoft, paintball, stuff like that. But I mean, from a like traditional firearm standpoint, they're making good stuff at good prices. So is it the brand I would look at for like a true competition rifle that you're gonna stay competitive with, or like a battle rifle? But if it's something that like I'm building to go out on the range, or like a shit hit the fan gun that I might be handing off to a neighbor or something, heck yeah.
You know, these don't feel super flimsy like you might expect. We got this cup in the way.
Yeah, move that big cup, CJ.
Also, one pro on these over the Magpul ones is how much easier it is to get to the larger aperture sight. On the Magpul flip to side, you actually have to pull down like a little window, and then that window is the smaller aperture.
Yeah.
So when you pull that window down, you get the larger aperture, whereas this is a more traditional open and closed.
Now, Charlie, me and you were having a conversation about this the other day. Which side is forward on this? This one might be a little bit more obvious because it's 45 degree, but
Be like that.
okay. Because you were telling me how a flip up.
Yeah, I had it backwards.
Yeah, a flip like I think it was the Magpul
Yeah.
Aimbus Gen 2s.
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh, you've always mounted them so that the front of the gun is like this way, and you flip it up this way, right? So it flips up and flips down.
Yep.
But then you were telling me that this
Magpul had a
is the
picture
right
on
way.
their website like that.
Yeah. So you're saying that
looking
that
at it was so no, like essentially this cone here should be facing your eye.
the cone should be facing
Yeah,
your
the
eyes.
taper should be facing your
capturing
eye.
light.
Okay.
Yep. And then it should be a hard cut at the end. So you want the taper facing your eye. So if you have one that you aren't sure which way it goes, the taper should face your eye. But then again, if you do the other side of the sight, which way is the taper facing then?
This
Away
this
from
way.
your eye.
Yeah, away.
So
With the large aperture, it doesn't matter.
yeah, with the
nearly
large
as much,
aperture,
so.
and someone could actually argue that like it's best to have a nice thin, crisp edge there.
Okay.
Because then you aren't looking at the thickness of the material coming down. So, I don't know. I personally feel like do whatever you think looks right and feels right. And
CJ's over here moving the
I moved
The
it
windage.
back and then
Aperture
move it back
offset.
again. Yeah, well, hey, you should always zero your sights, guys. I'm just saying.
So what do you guys think of offset 45s in general outside of just UTG though?
I mean, I would. It's probably a good idea. Honestly, here's my like best. If I had my perfect world, it would be. I'm assuming this is like a somewhat close-ish range gun, so we'll say a red dot with a backup 45 degree, or an LPVO with a backup 45 degree, with a backup 45 degree red dot with co-witnessed iron sights.
So what I run is I'll usually run a piggybacked RMR on top of the optic.
Okay.
And then I'll run offset irons. That way I don't ever have to take the optic off. You can just flip these off. Because if you're running something like a Trijicon ACOG, that can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to take off if it's, the glass shatters or something.
Yeah.
I'm thinking from like a fighting perspective here. It's easier just to flip these up on the side. But what we learned just this past weekend, I had a set that was in my truck that we threw in the Mark 18. We have a video coming out next week, maybe the week after. I don't know. You guys might already be out by the time this is coming out. But we have a video where we put a $2,500 Mark 18 up against rifles that CJ and I built. And since $2,500 is the budget, you get the bare bones Mark 18 with nothing on it. So I had a set of these in my truck.
Yeah.
It wasn't this UTG set, it was the Magpul set. We just threw those on there so the guy that we had doing the testing could do the shooting with it. And he was having one heck of a time picking up his front sight post. But that Magpul, the apertures were much smaller, and the front sight post was much tighter than these UTG ones, where there's actually quite a bit of space between that front sight post and the two rails on either side.
Well, these are quite bigger and quite heavier. I think most of the reason we were having so much trouble was the lighting conditions in that particular range, because we were shooting through this tunnel of trees in the woods, and there was like speckled lighting, so there were like bright spots and dim spots, so the kind of the contrast in the eye was super weird. So yeah, I think that was part of the reason. But these, I think, would be a little bit easier to pick up potentially, because this is just a bigger front sight post in general,
And there's more space between that front sight post and the two side pieces.
Right.
So there's more space for the target to be able to be. So the rule of thumb is you want a clear tip and a blurry target. So that's you focusing on the front sight tip and not the target, because if you target focus, it can throw your aim off. So if you
Which is different than a red dot, where a red dot you're target
target
focused.
focused.
Yeah.
So you're focusing on that front sight post. And the issue that we were running into, because I sanity checked Bill just to make sure that he wasn't crazy, because he was losing his mind about it. The issue he was running into is when you would focus on that front sight post you would lose the target. And we learned from the last time we were out at Bill's house, we brought white targets this time instead of brown targets.
Yeah, that's right.
It was interesting because as soon as you focus to that front sight post, you completely lost the target in the lighting.
Yeah, and the other thing with 45 offsets, like if you're on an LPVO or a high-powered optic, or even like a magnifier, if you do like a drop-down magnifier instead of flip to side, sometimes you can't fit a backup iron on the top rail, so you have to go 45 offset.
That is the one downside of running a flip to side magnifier is that you can't do 45 offset anything, which I prefer offset to the piggyback. Anyway, it just feels a little bit more natural to me. That's kind of.
I bet those will ride really neatly in between, like if you have like a flashlight.
Yeah.
At the end of an M-lock.
Neatly.
Yeah. So it'll probably fit squarely between that 1913 rail and the light if you have it on the top.
Yeah, and for the lefties out here, these things you can't really flip them, unfortunately.
You guys are no, they're like machined together.
You probably could. It looks like there's a roll pin in here that you could punch out, and then it looks like there's 2 pins you'd have to take out, and then you could flip it. But honestly, you could run them on the opposite side, and it still function. Normally, it's just they would flip forward instead of flip back. It wouldn't be like the most ideal, but if you needed something in a pinch and while it's light.
Yeah. Or those are what's sitting in the back of your truck.
Yeah, and if you're a lefty, I guess I wouldn't be super scared of getting these, knowing that they are made for righties, not lefties, but for the price, you probably can't beat them.
I'd be curious to know if UTG has a lefty set. So what do you guys think? Overrated or underrated? 45s?
Unfortunately. 45 irons, I don't know. I'd overrate them. I'm more of a backup iron on the top rail.
Yeah.
I'd rather run a red dot on the 45.
Yeah.
But that's the competition side of me speaking more than anything.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you, Charlie. I think a little bit overrated, I would say. I can't see a situation where I ever see myself using them over a backup red dot.
Yeah, I don't know, kind of like, I guess my preferred setup would be LPVO on top, red dot on the side.
How about a pistol red dot with a piggyback LPVO?
What?
Yeah, no, I'm just playing.
You can
Charlie
leave.
Charlie didn't think that was fun.
You can take off for the day.
I normally,
we'll chat
I like to, I think they're underrated. I like to run the 45-degree irons if I'm going to run a 45-degree. And it's just the old adage that 2 is 1 is 1 is none. So if you've got 3, then technically you always have 2.
I mean, so usually the 45 is going to be used as closer ranges, more of like a hoser spray and pray style. Do you even need a rear sight for that?
You need a rear sight for that?
Yeah, just kind of flip it 45.
You can always do the instinctive point shooting thing. That
at that point, you just, put the posts on the target and go.
Hope for the best.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you guys have seen, they have that butt stock now that's rotatable. So
is it really?
Yeah, you can actually rotate your gun and the stock stays
Oh,
vertical
yes,
on you.
I have seen that. Yeah.
I haven't heard any reports from that, but I'm interested in that one because one of the biggest complaints people give on piggyback versus 45 is I don't want to have to re-shoulder my gun and move it. Well, what if you can just twist the gun and you're right there and you don't have to, it doesn't affect your shoulder
I feel like stability, it must be pretty tight or you can change the tension on it or something like that. I feel like the stability.
Are you talking about that video from SHOT Show a couple years ago where the guy had the twisting butt stop?
Yeah.
The guy where that was kind of like a solution looking for a problem.
I don't know. I think that's a solution to a complaint that a lot of people have.
Yeah. When I was doing
invalid complaint.
Well, when I did my video on 45 versus piggyback offset, that was the complaint, is that people didn't like to. Basically, the complaint either way is either I have to
lift your head,
lift my head off the cheek weld, so then I don't have one, or I have to rotate the stock, and then it's kind of in a weird spot, what feels like a weird spot to some people. So it's kind of like. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the next solution to this one is the cheek. You have one that's on a spring, so it goes up with your cheek or something.
So the thing is, the riser needs to come down on your optic. So then the red dot's right there for you. We need more electronics.
Or we could just wear the targeting reticle from the movie Aliens, where the gun aims itself. All right, so this next one,
awesome.
The next one, I'm gonna throw this out there.
Then you could hip shoot.
Is that everyone at this table probably has somewhat of an implicit bias
my.
on this subject because we're good friends with people that compete with these guys. That said, I think we can be objective.
I know what this
still.
one is.
So this is.
Oh, it's not what I thought.
This is a Radian Raptor SD.
Uh-huh.
This is their Radian gas busting charging handle. It is one of the more expensive, if not the most expensive charging handle
Like
currently.
120-ish?
Yeah, it's 125-ish, I think.
I think the RaidWorks might be a little bit more expensive. That has the rubber gasket.
Yep.
That's the only other one that to my knowledge, that's more expensive than this one.
And we
yep.
have talked about this charging handle before, but we've never decided if Radian's stuff was, well, not just Radian stuff, Radian's Raptor SD charging handle was over or underrated.
Okay, so when we did our audience-built AR...
This is the one.
This is the one. I put this up against a Breek sledgehammer, and I put it up against I want to say it was... I forget which one.
Probably
the third
an Arm
one.
Spec Victory
Maybe,
or something.
I think it was an Arm Spec Victory. I think that's exactly right. And this is the one that won. So the audience, at least the audience that watched the short that day, was like, we like this one the best. And I've always tried to figure that out. I don't know if it's brand or if it's sorry, Charlie. I don't know if it's brand or if it's like the fitment of this, or if a lot of people just have these and they don't know as much about like other gas busting charging handles, because this was kind of one of the pioneers of that type of thing. But I don't know. It seems to me like a lot of people do really like the Radian, this particular Radian, the SD.
I mean, it's kind of one of those 7075 aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
Really, like, it's hard to beat it. Now, from a gas busting standpoint, that's a different conversation.
Right.
But from an overall, like, ambi charging handle design and materials used and coating, attention to detail's great on it.
It feels solid. Like it's
Yeah.
got some weight to it. Makes it feel
Yeah,
very
it's heavier
premium.
than most charging handles that you would feel like your traditional 6065.
It is ambi, of course.
Yep.
Have to bring that up. And it's got these cool cutouts.
Patented, of course.
I think the thing that Radian gets that most other companies in the charging handle space don't get is they really have that first mover advantage. They were one of the first to market with this specific gas busting, I don't know if you want
Gas
to call it.
venting.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to call it gas venting.
Mitigation.
I don't know if you want to call it technology or engineering, or whatever you want to call it. They're one of the first people to go, hey, I bet we can eliminate some of the gas blowback if we do something with our charging handle.
Yep.
And that, I think, got them a lot of goodwill with builders especially, and with other AR manufacturers in the space. Because if you look at this is very similar to like the Daniel Defense rip and grip charging handle. I wouldn't be surprised to find out Radian's making that. I don't know if they are, but
Probably.
but
One thing that's interesting, I never noticed this, is if you look closely, these are different size latches.
Yep.
These latches are different sizes, and I don't know why. Does anybody know why? I don't know why. Like, why wouldn't you just make them the
Probably
same?
because your forward assist could get in the way.
But it's on this side of the charging handle where
So-
they're facing towards the
Yeah,
shooter.
your forward assist would be over here, so you'd have something coming up right here-ish.
Right,
So
but
if
this side's shorter. The one on the right
if
side
I'm
is shorter.
wearing,
that's fine.
If I'm wearing a plate carrier or a chest rig and I've got
sure.
my rifle
Yeah.
slung, this is the side that's going to be hooking up against Molly or
Again,
any
not
kind of
lefty
stuff.
friendly.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
I mean, you could flip flop these pretty easily. I
No,
think.
you can't.
Flip-flop the latches. You
No,
can't,
they're
yeah.
asymmetrical because this latch has to be on that side, and then the way the mechanisms work inside, they're asymmetrical.
That's right. Yeah.
Give me 1
internals.
second. We have one of these that's taken apart over there. I want to double check on that. 'cause
Oh.
I feel like this might have been three different pieces.
I've taken
You might
these
be.
apart.
You might be right.
You can see there's no seam.
We're going to find out.
There should be 2 handles, 2 springs in there. 1 spring here, and then 1 spring.
And 2 roll pins, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't shock me if Breek and them both use the same patent.
Can they do that?
Yeah,
I don't know how
you
patent
just pay
stuff
for
works.
licensing on it.
Oh,
You
okay.
pay like $2 a charging handle or whatever it is to whoever holds the patent. You get licensing to do it.
Just happen to have both the Breek. This is the SDSL, not the SD.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be put together the same way.
But these are the wings for the SDSL, which I think they're both
they're-
small.
Yeah, it's 2 pieces on the wings. I mean, the one thing I will say with them is I haven't heard the best from gas mitigation compared to others out on the market today.
100% correct.
I know. Like I said, it's very similar to the brake design. They're probably using the same patent licensing. I don't know who actually holds the patent that Radian uses. It's US 9995543. 9995543. If anyone wants to look that up. But charging handles are like, oh man, the patents behind those. Everyone's trying to find their own way to make a charging handle not infringe on a patent, and it's actually very hard. There's only so many ways you can skin that cat.
Yep.
But from the gas busting side, I guess the one thing that I would like to see better would be more turbulence creation inside. I think that's where Breek does very good.
You want to get that in front of the camera a little bit.
Yeah, it's probably hard to see, but there's a lot of ribs in here. And essentially, instead of making a nice smooth channel for air to flow back, is actually create some turbulence, slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, they have like ridges and rims in here that make it really.
If you look at the head of the charging handle as well, Breek has 3 cutouts, whereas Radian doesn't have cutouts.
Yeah, so they have this shelf here, so any gas that gets up top theoretically should shoot out the side. And then they also have a hole that goes to the underside, so any gas that comes to the back, additional pressure can be let out the side here.
What Josh was saying earlier, though, Radian as like the first to market ish on something like this. Breek had the advantage of like, oh, what did Radian do? Let's do it better. You know what I'm saying? In terms of gas busting and stuff.
Well, and then even still, you got companies like Griffin. Was it Raidworks? Like a lot of companies that have taken it even a step further past that.
Yeah,
I know Raidworks has like that rubber gasket on this shelf right here.
Yeah, the other thing
Griffin
too
had
is
something just like that.
They did.
The height of the shelf here does matter too. Griffin's was pretty tall, if I recall.
It was.
This one's a little shorter, so you are going to get some gas coming out through there. Like not dogging on the Radian Raptor SD. Like the traditional Raptors, they're hard to beat for the quality. Like it is, you get what you pay for with the charging handle market mostly.
Yeah.
Now when you get into these gas busing charging handles, your mileage may vary depending on the one you get. Just because you paid more doesn't mean it's going to deflect more gas away from you. So
yeah, this is something
high flow cans go for that.
You'll actually be able to answer this pretty well, Charlie. Why is Radian's engraving white and Breek's is more like a goldish brown?
It's a setting they're using.
It's just a setting.
And the type of aluminum it could be too. But
well, so these are both 7075 aluminum because I remember we broke them back in December.
Yeah, it is.
So they're both a 7075 T6, I want to say, aluminum.
It's just the settings on their laser is all it is.
Also, this one has been used. Like we've actually shot this one physically. This one we haven't. I don't know if that would make a difference.
We shot this one.
I know the Breeks aren't that white out of the gate, but it's just settings on the laser is all.
Yeah. What do we think of Radian as like a brand? Like because like their packaging and stuff. I mean, you guys
looks
can even
great
just
on
see
a
this.
shelf.
Yeah, I mean, it's
one of the common charging handles or accessories you'll actually see at local gun stores on the shelf because it markets or merchandises well on the shelf. There's always like these. They could look good on a shelf.
Yeah.
But if I close this up, put this on the shelf with the items in it, can you look at it and tell me what it is without reading anything?
Right.
Where you take this with the charging handle in it,
Just
obviously
sits right in there.
Yeah, it sits like this on a shelf. You can tell what it is just by glancing at it. Plus,
if you know what gun parts are.
Plus, it's a 5-minute upgrade.
Yep. Right.
I mean, 1 minute upgrade, depending on who you are. But let's be real. If I were to do it, it'd be 5 minutes. I'd have to think about it for 4 minutes on what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
For me, Radian is becoming one of my more enjoyed brands for aftermarket parts. We just got one of their triggers in, and CJ and I took it out and we did like a tabletop overview of it. It's called the Vertex, and that is so it's Radian worked with Trigger Tech of Trigger Tech Diamond fame to make a trigger, and they got it to like $225 or something, and it's an insanely good trigger. And then we took it out this past week and actually got to run some rounds through it, and it's a good trigger. It punches way above its price point. Like for the value, the dollar per value on that trigger is really, really high. But it gets a little harder when you're looking at something like this when there's other options out there that are coming in at kind of a better price point. It's like I used to drink a Monster energy drink every single day, right? But the price of Monster Energy drinks kept going up to like $3 a can or $2 something if you get it at Costco in a 24-pack. And then Costco comes out with their 24-pack
Kirkland
of
brand.
Kirkland brand energy drink, and they're like 75 cents for the same caffeine.
Yeah.
And 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, okay.
It's
we're gonna-
monohydrate caffeine versus dihydrate caffeine, though.
it all makes my heart beat faster and my brain move quicker. So I'm gonna pay 75 cents for that every single time.
There you go.
These are different designs than the Brick, actually. And they work
Yeah,
the
we've
same,
got
but
the
the design
Brick ones
is
right
slightly
here.
different.
I got the Break wings. So
Yeah,
for me,
Brick has the spring on the side, where that one has the second spring up top. So slightly different designs there.
So are these overrated, underrated, or just rated?
for me, they're just rated. Radiant as a brand, I think, is underrated.
Really?
That might be something not a lot of people say, but when you try that
you
trigger,
think they could be more highly rated as a brand?
yes, that trigger they made it came out in March, and I think it's probably the best sub $250 trigger that's come out in the last year and a half. But these are the Break wings. They're quite a bit different.
Charlie, what do you think? Overrated, underrated,
Yeah,
just rated?
You can see the difference between them here. Slightly different in how they're designed.
You guys can't see nothing, but we can.
But ultimately, they're doing the exact same thing. It's just where the spring's pushing against on the weak side. It's
We have
interesting.
to come back with the camera.
Yeah,
for
we'll
that.
have to take a picture
Yeah,
of
sure.
that.
Yeah.
Everyone, if CJ forgets, make sure to let him know.
Yeah, let me know in the comments.
Blame Carter.
I don't know.
Carter's the guy that
I don't
edits
think
these.
Radiant can get more highly rated. I think mostly what they do is, like, for lack of better words, they shit gold.
Underrated in the trigger market. How does that sound?
Well, I'm not looking at a trigger here.
We're
I'm
talking
looking
about
at a,
this.
Let's talk about a charging handle here that's in front of me.
True.
But if you want to talk triggers, bring a trigger next time, Josh. Do better.
Okay.
I mean, for a charging handle, slightly overrated. I think there's equivalent options for less.
Yeah.
That I would run in competition, bring to battle, and have no fear with. So I'm still kind of one of those, like, it's like, is forward assist needed? How often should you use it compared to the value it brings you? Now, if you need to use your charging handle and you don't have one, or you have one that breaks, it's like Radiant does make a plastic wing option where it's polymer wings. If one of those breaks on you, you're kind of SOL.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can grab it and get it back if you need, but metal wings, really like those.
Yep.
Strike has their T-bone one, that
The polymer
the
ones as well.
non-moving part one, where there's actually, you buy the replacement handles for them. But those are nice because they actually have the hole all the way through that comes through, and you can direct the gas out the side as well with those. So from like a gas mitigating charging handle, in my opinion, a little overrated. I'm a little biased here because I've used a lot of them, but like my go-to is always the Sledgehammer. That Raidworks is nice. You guys have had great things to say about the Griffin one.
Yeah.
There's a ton of options out there, and I think that just Radiant kind of steals the show, and all the rest just kind of, even though
They're in the shadow.
yeah, they could arguably be better, but they just don't get talked about. So
I would agree with everything Charlie just said. I think they're probably just rated. I think this is a solid charging handle.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, I think there are.
I think for a
bit better
charging
options.
handle, the Raptor or the SD, overrated.
Sure. I think if they came out with like a Gen 2, like an SDX or something like that, like they, after all the years that have gone by and what they've learned.
So I mean, if I was to design a V2 of this, higher shelf in the back,
Right.
Give me vent holes.
Yeah.
On
I'd put that
driver's
rubber
side.
gasket on there too,
Yep.
like the Raidworks.
Well, the gasket I could go with or without.
I'm just throwing
But
everything
give me a
at
vent
it.
hole and give me some turbulence on the
Yeah,
bottom.
ridges in there. Maybe
Yeah.
some baffles,
I
like
don't
a suppressor.
know how well these do.
I don't either. I mean, I'm sure they did a lot of like fluid testing or whatever in designing those, because these are like ridges that are angled up, almost like teeth or something.
Yeah, so I mean,
angling towards the gas.
Well, so the thing is, a lot of the gas is going to be coming out of the barrel or the gas key or the gas tube, which goes under it. So, I mean, yeah, I just have a hard time visualizing what it's going to do under that impulse. Like, you can flow it through water as much as you want in fluid testing, but you got to like repeat that impulse of the firing in the contained upper. And there's not many uppers out there where you can see in this area. Maybe I
Right.
need to cut one at some point. So
You could
we can
like
see what's going
clear.
on
You
there.
could like do a clear upper or something, and then like submerge it in water and do like food dye or something, and then do like an impulse of
We're
like
going
of,
way
like,
too
color,
deep into this.
and then see that would be like my testing methodology for that if I were to do something like that. I don't know if that's at all exactly the same, but then you can actually see what the food dye is doing.
You want to
in
shoot
the
a gun
fluid.
underwater?
No, you wouldn't shoot a gun. You would simulate the fluid moving through,
See,
and
the
it
thing-
almost wouldn't matter how fast it's going.
I just don't think it does matter how fast it's going. I don't think you can recreate that easily with.
Yeah.
It needs to be an impulse.
And it needs to be a gajillion psi. So
Yeah.
we're gonna
40,000.
scooch on to the next one, and I think this is one CJ needs to start talking about because he got himself in a little bit of hot water with this guy.
Well,
on Instagram.
Yeah, well, I had posted this on Instagram, and I basically said, why is this so expensive? Why, here's a $30 buffer, which buffers are actually kind of hard to find for $30 nowadays. But at the time, it was like a $30-ish buffer, and then here's like 147?
160.
Yeah, okay, 160 now. Yeah, it's even gone up in price since then. And I was like, oh, what's the difference? And I basically said, well, it's Geisley, and it's only the name. And people thought that I meant that it's only because it's Geisley is because it's more expensive.
That's what it looked like.
Which is not exactly true, and my whole reel was taken completely out of context. But
was it taken out of context, or did
I don't know. That's the context I got from
it was
it.
taken completely out of context. It was misquoted.
You can
everything
apologize
else.
to the big
CJ's
guy
over here.
right now.
It was fake news.
fake
It was
news.
fake news. I didn't say that.
Misquoted. Yeah, there was not. It was not two people on both sides.
CJ made a
situation.
reel that people didn't understand because
then
he
I
didn't
called
understand what he
Rosie.
was trying to say.
people just didn't get it. So anyway, I'd like to explain this. So Geisley makes this buffer. The reason that this is mostly more expensive than like a normal-ish buffer is it doesn't have much to do with the buffer. It actually has mostly to do with the spring that they use, which this is a braided spring, which supposedly. And it does actually. I'm saying supposedly like it's not true. It is true. It brings down some of the resonance in the buffer tube when you rack it back, and has more because it's braided. It also does help with recoil because there's more shock absorption going throughout each coil of the spring. Because there's like more. It's basically more springs that are taking the tension up. So there's more. Absorption going on with the spring itself. So that's why braided springs exist and why Geisley makes them.
The other major difference was this is a tungsten weight,
This is tungsten, yes.
and the $30 buffer was
Yes, and it was
No
also
tungsten.
no tungsten.
Well, they both were H3 buffers.
Were they? I thought it was carbon.
No, they both were H3 buffers
Oh.
because the price of the tungsten actually didn't matter that much. It really was just this, and I think there's probably
it couldn't
some.
have been an H3 because our H3 is not $30, bro.
I'm gonna go find
It was
that buffer.
I
'cause
can
it's
tell
right
you
over
this.
here.
At the time you made the reel, there
Yeah.
was no $30 H3 buffers out on the market. Maybe LBE, you could have found one because just haven't sold many and price never updated. But yeah, that's like more like a $70 buffer at the time of that reel being made.
right. Well,
This one?
no, that's not
That's
the one.
like a 9 mil.
That's like
almost.
an H4
This
or
one?
something.
Yeah, it's like a 9 mil.
This is one solid
was
weight
not-
in
Oh,
there,
that's
I
the
think.
cheapo.
Yeah, this is like the one solid weight in there.
So this buffer,
Yeah.
this is about the cheapest of buffers you can get.
Mm-hmm.
It is a solid weight. There are no reciprocating masses in here. It is just a weight.
Which is not the mil spec, actually. The mil
actually-
spec calls for.
You can find these in a
Reciprocating.
lot of off-the-shelf firearms
Can you really?
because they are dirt cheap.
What's the weight on this?
It's like carbine, I believe.
Okay. Because the.
H1. I know. I
This
think it's
feels really-
carbine.
okay, this feels pretty heavy. These, because the mil spec, they were having problems. I'm actually going to talk about this in my history of buffers video. They were having problems with buffer weights that were like this in the original like mil spec testing or the original M16 testing, and they switched it to the reciprocating weights because
Bolt bounce.
that
Yep.
bolt, yeah, that they were
Bolt
having trouble
bounce,
with the
you get a
bolt
little
bounce.
more dwell out of them too.
Let's do something.
For the weights to come back. Just don't touch mine.
Yeah.
This is my personal one.
Didn't they like Loctite this in there too, or whatever
Pin?
this is?
Yeah, they got some type of glue on the pins.
yeah, yeah.
slightly larger punch.
Just take it off screen and do it.
But the major reason that this is more expensive is this braided spring, because this is a bit more higher quality of an experience.
Let's be serious. Geisley is going to charge a premium.
Well, I was going to say that
compared to a no-name.
There is probably a
buffer.
bit of Geisley tax on that, which is fine because they do make high-quality stuff. They do QC a lot of things very, very well.
One of the things that's nice about this is they actually do say the classification of buffer it is on the end of it.
They do, yeah.
It says H3, where we look at this one, and nothing.
Right.
No markings anywhere. This is a 9mm buffer from Spikes, or ST9X. It does say on there, they actually do put their logo on there too, which is nice. That's how I knew it was from Spikes. Initially, I thought it was the CAC buffer.
No, not quite. But these are always going to be much heavier.
Sorry, the Caw Valley buffer.
Right. These are going to be much heavier because they're the 9mm. Yeah, the 9mm buffers are going to have to be a lot heavier because there's so much more recoil going on that you have to take up.
So an H3 buffer, I know a lot of the FRT guys right now are soaking these things up. They love them. There is a tungsten shortage right now, so tungsten's expensive. The price of buffers have about 3x since July or since January 2026. So they're going up rapidly. They've seemed to have plateaued a bit, so I haven't gotten a price update in a while.
That's good. Yeah.
But
it's just because, like, tungsten shortage, basically. Just like price of tungsten keeps going up.
In a lot of rifles, you will find by switching out to a heavier buffer from most rifles are going to come with a carbine buffer out of the gate, out of the box, unless it's like a specialty tuned rifle. Right. By going to like an H2 or an H3, you're going to slow everything down a little bit, and then that recoil impulse that you feel against your shoulder, it's going to feel more like a push than a punch. I mean, we're talking 5.56 here, but it's going to feel a lot more gentle, not as sharp of an impulse. So essentially what you're doing is you're slowing everything down. The other thing that you're doing too is when you're chambering the round, a lot of that is with like a carbine buffer. You're really relying on your spring pushing that buffer forward and gaining speed.
Did
and
you
momentum.
take the one apart that was the solid weight?
Yeah, that's a solid weight.
I was hoping it would come out still.
There is no weight.
Man, all right. Well, now you can
It's
kind of
like
see what's
literally
in there.
one piece.
I'll be right back again.
Okay, goodbye.
Oh no, there is an insert in here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was looking in there, and it was like looks like something's in there that will come
It's
out.
a table, you doof.
Sorry.
Hey, what the? Give me that.
This isn't our brand new table, so this is our
still.
work table.
Jeez, that's why you can't have nice things. But so back to buffers. When they're going forward, you're reliant on speed, especially with a lighter buffer. That spring is going to build up speed very quickly. Going back into place, not as much inertia being made.
Yeah.
So that should chamber the round for you. Where when you go to a heavier one, it's going to be a little slower. But that weight behind it's going to give it that little extra push at the end. And due to the less speed, you're going to experience less bolt bounce as well.
Right. Can you explain what bolt bounce is? I feel like most people haven't.
So see how that didn't bounce at all?
Yeah.
It just kind of like drops and holds. So it's like a dead blow hammer. Compared to, do we have that other one? Josh took it.
Yeah.
Though this one's going to do it too. Oh, it's got the spring on it. If we have the solid one, well, actually, we can do it with some that's just non-dead blow. What you'll notice is it jumps when it hits. So when your bolt comes in to your barrel, it'll come in, and with the way the dead blow is working, you have these weights in here that as this is going forward, going this way, the weights are actually on the back end of it. And then when this comes to a stop, or when the bolt hits the breech face essentially on your barrel, it's going to hit that and then stop, and like the charging handle, it's going to want to bounce. But that extra weight, the goal is with the bounce that's created, those dead blow weights come and counteract that bounce. And so it should minimize any bolt bounce you get. So if we put this one here, this one's, it's still doing something. Just tips right over though. But then you get this one. It's a little quieter, a little more dead of a sound. The other thing too is actually this one's a solid as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know there were so many of these that were solid.
Oh, it's a 9 mil.
Might be able just to push it out from the inside, take this and kind of put it up.
Yeah, there we go. See how it's just like a dead sound? So then you get the non-weighted one, or the non-moving weights.
Buffer's just such a weird topic. Because it's such a simple thing. Don't cut yourself, please.
I'm trying not to.
So essentially it's kind of like a dead blow hammer is what you're doing. But yeah, I don't know, these braided, anything besides like a mil spec. Yeah, what are you doing? CJ's driving me nuts today, boys.
You open it up.
So essentially anything besides like your traditional buffer spring, it's going to be so much quieter. Usually you can just kind of hear it when you wiggle the spring if it's going to be loud or not.
Because what you hear a lot of the times is the spring rubbing up against the buffer tube.
The buffer tube, yeah, but like also if you compress the spring and let it out, you can also hear the resonance move. It's like a tuning fork,
Like a slinky
almost.
dog.
Yeah, like a slinky.
Yeah,
good
yeah.
example.
You're always going to hear that. Twing,
Doing.
twing, twing. Yeah.
I hate that noise personally. Some people say they don't hear it. I do. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And it's fairly cheap to get rid of it. Even a flat wire spring will get rid of it.
Yeah. You can always step up to like the super nice, like the captured.
Yeah, you can
spring or
step up
something
to a
like that,
captured
but-
system. But I know, so this is actually my buffer that I got replaced because mine went out with the 6-arc gun. So originally, the 6-arc was built off of my list, but my list had a fixed length rifle tube on it. And I did a flat wire spring in there with the Luth buffer.
Okay.
And the 6-arc we did was having problems. Essentially pulling the next round out of the expent round out of the chamber. The extractor wasn't powerful
And you
enough
think
to
that
pull
was a
it out.
buffer problem?
I do.
Okay.
Because
Why would
I
that be?
troubleshooted that thing for hours. And so essentially the telltale that it was not in the upper was I could take that upper, bolt, barrel everything, put it on my working lower, and it worked. I could put my working upper on that lower, and it wouldn't work. So that tells me it's something in the lower.
Right.
Well, what is the one thing in the lower that affects, well, there's multiple things, but what is the main thing in the lower that affects how the gun works?
Yeah, it's the buffer.
Buffer. Well, so we had a carbine buffer in there, I think, trying to keep the reciprocating mass light as possible. Put an H3, and so we put an H3 in there, slows everything down, actually slows down the chambering of the next round. And I think what was happening with that one is it was chambering the round so fast that it was literally like shooting the round into the chamber, into the throat, and it was getting stuck in there. And then when it wanted to cycle, it wanted to. They had enough gas normally, but since the round was so far in there, the extractor couldn't pull it out and the bolt would just slip off or it wouldn't move at all. And so we switched to an H3 buffer, problem solved. So and I suggest almost everyone, if you kind of build and tinker with your own ARs, have an H2, have an H3 buffer, and have a 308 spring in your workbench. 308 springs are actually like one of the hidden gems sometimes into like just making a gun feel lighter for dirt cheap.
So you're actually a big proponent of the flat spring.
I like them. I don't know, for the price. They're hard to beat for the price. They're pretty much quiet. I don't know.
So I don't have the spring problem that most people. Well, I don't know. Most people, these two, have a spring
Well, you just
dislike.
can't hear that good.
Right. I mean,
so-
we're out at the range every day. Or last Friday, there was a cicada going off, and CJ's like, "Oh, hold on, there's a cicada. We got to wait for it to stop." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Apparently, there was a really loud cicada. that
It
I
was
couldn't
loud.
hear.
It was like I'm not going to be able to pick up audio over that.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things that can be done on ARs, and for the price of a flat wire spring of like $18. Just
What's your go-to on that?
I like the Strike Industries. And also do like like in 9 mils, I'll do 308 springs in those. Those are great. Because it's like, yeah, okay, you need more weight for your 9 mil system, Well, okay, I already got an 8.6 buffer. There's not much, like you can go find a 9-ounce buffer out there. You're going to pay for another buffer. Or you go to a 308 spring and get a little extra resistance against it. Now, you do get more power shooting it back, but your system's already heavy enough that that's not the problem. The problem is that coming back too fast, not going forward too fast.
I can't remember my buddy. It's like not really my buddy. I've like talked to him over email once or twice. But my buddy Blowback 9 on YouTube, great resource. Guys should go look up his channel if you're into 9mm PCC stuff. But he would argue that you should not be using 308 springs in your 9mm. He thinks his claim is that you'll overspring your system.
Definitely could.
And that will lead to other problems down the road, especially over high round counts. So, you might lead to some cracking bolts, or you might lead to
the thing is, you'll lead to cracking bolts on 9mm without them.
Well, maybe.
Like, my thing is if you're troubleshooting and you try something and it fixes it.
Yeah.
Like,
just do that fix until something else breaks.
Yeah, or you can keep going down rabbit holes, but you might end up back to where you were. But at the same time, 9mm is so violent on essentially the reciprocating system that even without that, you run a risk of cracking bolts.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of 9mm bolts will crack in the back end, or the carrier, sorry.
Right.
They'll crack in the back, like, oh, your trigger needs to be heavy enough for a 9mm, all this stuff that, is it going to die in 100 rounds, or am I talking 10,000 rounds? Because that's a big difference there. And if it lasts, the average person is not going to put a 10,000 rounds through a firearm.
Right.
Maybe 1,000 rounds at most.
Maybe we should invite him onto the podcast and have you and him have a whole debate on springs.
I'm not fighting him on anything. I fully agree that in a perfect world, if your gun runs with a standard spring, by all means, like, go for a flat wire, go for a braided piano wire or something like this, a standard power spring. But now Spring Co. makes their extra power springs.
I do.
Very common in the FRT world right now. You can get 308 springs. So, you get different weight springs to help solve or tune different problems. And a lot of it is you got to fuck around and find out sometimes, And if the worst that happens is you break a bolt, a BCG.
Yeah. Especially a 9mm one.
Yes, did I spend all that time over there taking that buffer apart for no reason?
Oh yeah, these are the weights.
Yay!
That's what's inside most buffers.
I'll tell you what, this little yellow one and this cheapo guy here, this did not want to come out. I had to use
a plug?
No, the plug didn't want to come out. I had to use pliers, and then
you had to clench real hard on it.
I had to use pliers and pressure. I had to actually take that and
every buffer's going to have 3 weights in it, unless it's the non-reciprocating style like this one. Honestly, the one that we should have got out would have been the Odin adjustable.
Oh yeah.
But so the Odin works as an adjustable buffer, which I believe it's like a set screw.
Yep.
So instead of it being a pin, the rubber side stays in, and there's actually a screw on the top that you can take
like a really
out.
Big Allen.
Yeah, it's a really big Allen wrench. Take that out, and you can change the weight setup. So either have one of those in your drawer at home if you're tuning or building guns. You can essentially go tune it, find the weight that you're using, and then go get the buffer for that. And then put the adjustable one back in your bench again, or run it, but just know that you have an adjustable around. The other thing, too, is there's little pads between every weight. They should go between the weights, and it just helps keep it quiet so they aren't beating each other up.
Yeah.
Because these weights they aren't connected. So essentially, once they start going backwards or forwards, the one in the front's going to go, the second one, then the third one. So they're all going to it's like 3 little dead blow hammers going together.
And I feel like these, over time, would just implode on themselves.
They just beat themselves up. I remember back in the day, you could get powdered filled ones that were just filled with a powder that would move around.
Why don't they do those anymore?
I don't know.
They probably, there's someone probably does still do it.
I'm
It's
sure
just probably
some-
not popular anymore.
Well, they also do. I mean, there are all kinds of buffer. For some reason, there's all kind of buffer innovations going on because there's like the magnet buffers now.
Oh yeah, so that's a guy. That's a crazy guy. He's not crazy. He's an interesting fellow. His name is Fry from Fry Tech. And today, actually, this morning, I don't know if you saw,
Reach out
he
to you
was.
again.
Oh, did he?
Was that? No. He has a magnetic spring rod for a handgun now,
Oh.
which is just like there's no spring on these. Right?
Yeah,
He's literally throwing magnets in the buffer tube and it's working. And now he's got a magnetic spring for the hand. I don't know. This guy's got some black magic magnet stuff going on. He's talking to space aliens.
Yeah,
Seems like a cool guy, but
Well, the thing is, magnets are super powerful. It's just a matter of harnessing that power. And now you have something magnetic in your gun. There's a trade-off somewhere, and I don't know what it is quite yet. I'm being skeptical.
harness the power of magnets.
So the other thing that now too, I know Odinworks has a heavy buffer system for FRTs that essentially has a secondary spring built into it now. Has a really thick spring. And they're getting away from the requirement of needing all that tungsten. I think Battle Arms has one as well coming out. There's another one coming too, or there's another bolt. Now, funny enough, we were talking 9mm, how they'll have the weight in the bolt. They're starting to put the weights in the bolts in 5.56. So they're drilling the pin, they're drilling for the pin and finding a weight to shove in the rear of it.
And speaking of innovative buffer systems,
And not able to use one with a weight inside of it.
Oh yeah.
Doing.
this is a sound mitigation buffer
Yep.
from Armaspec. This is a carbine weight buffer right
JP
here.
has their silent capture spring. This is the sound mitigation, and then there's Armaspec also has their SRS.
Yep. We're gonna have a whole video on this coming out in a little bit, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. But we were just talking about innovative buffer things that are going on right now. This is a big movement. The Kinshot hydraulic buffers, the magnet buffers CJ was talking about. All
The
kinds
world
weird
of
stuff.
buffers is amazing. Maybe we should do a whole video series on it, which we are going to be doing, by the way, guys.
So for the twang that you hear, this is the solution to it. Kind of
The solution.
that
the
someone
ultimate
hears. I don't
solution.
hear it.
I forget how much these are, but
These ones aren't too terribly expensive. I want to say they're sub 100.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think
I think that might even be like 60 something. 76.
67.
What is the difference?
$76.95.
What is the difference between this one and the kind of the normal stealth recoil spring,
Yeah,
the SRS?
Uh,
Because this is the SM.
the silent or
There's a silent captured.
Yeah.
silent captures JP,
Yeah.
and then there's the sound mitigating, which is this one.
Okay,
Then
so
there's-
this is a naming thing.
so
This is a
then
naming
there's
thing.
the
SRS.
SRS.
Yeah.
What does that stand
Stealth
for?
recoil spring.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
So again, another sound mitigating one.
This sounds like semantics and naming. And
It 100%
It's
is
all
naming.
marketing, man.
The thing is, though, is if I'll give respect to JP, they made these.
They did.
first
They
first
started
mover.
it. Yeah.
That's got to be a weird one for you to be in because you're friends with guys at both companies.
Yeah, I like people at Armaspec.
Yeah.
I've been friends with people at JP for years, so
Yeah.
Joaquin over.
yeah.
over
I mean,
there.
business is business at the end of the day. Like I don't get involved with their business, but at the same time, they both put out great products for what they are. I use the forbidden P word. But yeah, so I don't know. I have these in a few guns.
I've seen you use these quite a bit actually.
Well, so one of the nice things is you can skip the retaining pin, the buffer retaining pin. You can skip that completely.
Which that is one of the main things that ends up flying out.
Well, and so the other thing that does too is on some ARs, not all, this is a stacking tolerances issue that we're talking about here. But essentially what happens is, say this is your buffer, this is your bolt. You want these touching, barely kissing. When you shut your upper to your lower, you should actually see your buffer come back a little bit. Your bolt should touch your buffer and it should make contact. You don't want any free travel there. If you have free travel, that means that your bolt, there's nothing like pushing on your bolt to hold it in battery at that point, outside of it just the cam locked in. So you always want positive contact there. And sometimes, some guns, it's not super common, but you can see it every now and then, is with the tolerances built in, there'll be a little bit of a gap between the bolt and the buffer when it's shut.
So many guys are running and breaking their gun down shotgun style right now. Just
Yep. And so you should see it. Like most of them are going to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of buffers, they'll actually have a slightly domed top. So this one's got a chamfer in it just so it can come forward to that pin just a tiny, tiny bit.
you can actually see on this one where it's been kind of scraped from that
Yep.
bolt.
From the,
riding
yeah,
down on
yeah,
it.
you should see a little wear on there.
Yeah.
So by removing that pin, you can make sure that this is always up against your bolt. You don't have to worry about that at all at that point. Other than that, there's no sound to it. It's one part versus two, but at the same time, one could argue that this is more than one part. It's just a system now.
Yeah.
It's a captured system.
I mean, you can get the H3 on that sometimes for like $60,
Yep.
which is a really good price.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
allegedly these don't work well with the FRT boys out there.
They're not
I
fast
saw a
enough.
lot of comments saying like, yeah, just they aren't slow enough. They don't slow it down enough.
Oh, I see.
At the end of the day, the FRT side is you need to slow it down because they're overrunning
So
themselves.
it sounds like Armaspec needs to make some adjustments and do an FRT version.
Yeah, I saw a couple people talking about the 9mm version on it, and I don't know. Again, like if you're running FRT, go H3.
Yeah.
Go find a heavy buffer somewhere, heavy spring, and call it good if you're having problems. A lot of the times problems can be solved by increasing buffer weight, not decreasing. So it kind of counterintuitive sometimes. So
Cool.
right,
So,
so-
I would say these, for me, are a underrated accessory. I think a lot of people will do a normal buffer, especially nowadays. Like these used to be, get a H3 normal buffer, and that's like way less expensive than something like this. Now all of a sudden these have gotten more expensive because of the cost of tungsten. That all of a sudden to make the jump to something like this, a way nicer system in my mind, it's like not.
an H3 silent captured spring or silent recoil spring or sound mitigating buffer, cheaper than a Geisley H3 today.
Yeah. So in my mind, that makes these.
Until some random farmer in Arizona does what happens every single time America runs out of a precious resource.
Start using mercury.
No, some farmers are going to just stumble across like $7.4 trillion of this stuff in Utah or something at some point. So, until that happens.
I know at one point we were looking at mercury for buffers because it's like what has the same density as tungsten, and it's not a lot out there.
No.
But how cool would that be? It was like a liquid mercury hydraulic buffer.
That sounds very dangerous.
Well, so does firing a gun.
Liquid.
Yeah,
Well,
that would be fine.
I mean, honestly, like liquid mercury is not that dangerous, like unless
Don't
you
eat it.
ingest it.
yeah.
Like you can get mercury on your skin, and it won't even go through your skin. It's so
You ever
thick.
seen the YouTube videos? There's a YouTube video of a guy filling up a toilet with mercury.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? And he
Yeah.
tries to flush it, and it like just won't.
It
do
won't
Like,
flush.
the bowl actually breaks from
Yep.
all the weight.
Yeah, I don't know, the chemistry in me, back in the day, the chemistry side, like I still love that stuff. There's a guy named Niles Red on YouTube. He's been out for a while. I don't know if you guys ever watch him, but if you want to nerd out on some chemistry stuff, you go watch his channel.
Overrated, underrated.
I think underrated, especially for easy install. Now, the hard part is if you're going to install a captured recoil system, you should remove the buffer retaining pin because these are designed to have that removed. And so if you don't, you could actually end up in the situation where you got a little gap between your buffer and your bolt. Also, if you don't remove the pin, it gets really hard to get it out,
It does.
especially if you have a trigger installed.
Yeah, and it's not great to get in either. You're gonna have to argue. You will get it in easier than you'll get it out, but you're gonna have to argue with it to get it in too.
And get it in, you got to come at an angle, and then you'll push the trigger down as you go in. And you
That's
gotta,
what she said.
You got to give it a little shove to get in there.
And we're demonetized.
What are we talking about?
We are not talking about assembling anything.
Okay.
Not assembly. But at the same time, so like you want to remove that pin that requires castle nut and plate back that out, back the tube out. So to do it properly, it's not a 5-minute install. It's probably more like a 30-minute install, and you need a castle nut wrench to do it. You might even want a new end plate if your current end plate is staked. Might even want a new castle nut. So if you're going to go this, like, I would say underrated, but I think a lot of people miss the proper install of these, and they just literally push the retaining pin down, shove it in, and they don't realize that they just made a problem with that happening instead of it being kissing all the time.
So for me, this is both. So on the sound mitigation, I think it's overrated.
My wife.
I think it's overrated because the sound mitigation does not help me in any way. I don't hear the noises that you guys hear for some reason. So for me, it's overrated on that. Where it's underrated is on the price. Because, like I said, I saw one of these today for $61, and it was the H3 variant.
Yep.
And getting an H3 buffer for $61 is pretty freaking hard right now.
Yeah,
I think our cheapest H3 buffer is just under $100 right now. So and with that, you get the spring too. So like this is all in one assembly.
Yeah.
And
one part.
Yeah. So I think buffers are probably the most underrated part. And I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say that because it seems like we do anything about buffers and gets views, but
Exactly.
it's probably because they are so underrated and misunderstood on what they do and how they work, and how much they actually matter to the function of an AR-15.
And how much they change the function and the experience overall.
On that note, we are actually out of time for today's podcast. If you go check out this playlist right here, it might not be there yet. It's going to be an entire series of buffers that CJ is working on right now. We'll see you in the next one.